All right. And we're back for November monthly music.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I'm your boy Skillet's hero.
And I'm the other guy, Unstoppable.
I had to not use my government. I had to think about
I
not
almost
using my
used my
government name
government,
there.
and then I almost mixed. I almost said your name.
I'm Skillet's. No,
I'm
he's
Skill.
Skillet's hero. I'm the
I'm
other
skillable.
Skillet. I'm not unskilled
I'm
hero. Yes, for those of you that don't know, we also have a podcast that's going on currently. It's a sports podcast. We do say our government names on there, so if you're ever curious, we've probably said our government names in previous monthly musics. But if you want
sometimes
to,
you'll just call me by it, and I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
I don't know, just saying unstoppable feels. I just know how stoppable you are, so it just feels like a lie to
saying Skillet's hero sounds weird because it's a little zesty.
Well, I made it when I was like 10, so here we are, and I'm committed, But yeah, so we have a podcast. If you guys ever want to check that out, but that's not what we're here for.
Nope.
You want to tell them what this is about? Unstoppable.
This is about the music.
About the music. What if we got a new time listener? They don't know what's going on. Do you want to tell them all about that?
I'm gonna tell them all about that, dude.
Tell them about that.
Every single month since March of 2022. 2023.
No. There you go.
I'm learning too. We have created we create a playlist, a joint playlist between the two of us. We add songs all month long until the very time that we record this.
If it's a good month, we've got hours of music. If it's a bad month,
hours yet.
Are you sure? You keep talking.
I think our longest is like an hour and 20 minutes or something, but
we got a whole
bunch of music. And at the end of the month, we each pick our top 5 songs. We talk about them on this little thing to share our feelings, talk about why we like them. And then in part 3 of monthly music, we rank all 10 songs, 1 through 10, 1 being the best, 10 being the 10th best. And we do that every single month.
Every month. It's been a journey. It's been a wild ride. We've experienced a lot of growth over these months. I mean, I lived in Michigan. Now I don't live in Michigan.
But you're in Michigan.
I am in Michigan currently. For those, if you guys notice my background here, you'll know.
You'll know this is a Michigan wall.
You'll see this paint and know. Yeah, it's been a long journey. It's kind of crazy to think about that we've been doing this since like March too. Is like the insane part. I don't like. That's just wild to me.
Coming up on a year.
I know we're gonna have to do something for that year, but that's for later. For now, we're gonna give you guys some music. So for this episode, I'm gonna go first. Make sure to watch out for part 2, where Unstoppable will drop his 5. And then, like you said, part 3, where we've got to fight each other to the death over these songs. But let's just kick this off with my number 5 song is Always the End by Jung. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but let's listen.
Could I take back all the things I've said? Everything that you've seen me through, every moment we spent together, everything that we've been through. Maybe I wanted to think you cared, wanted to think it could be true. It's always the end when I see things different, always the end when I see you.
And that was Always the End by Jung. So, the reason this song is number 5 for me, it would have been higher, but it's only 1 minute and 5 seconds. I love every part of this song. And I just wish it was a little longer. And maybe there's something to be said about like how short it is. I mean, it's a song about like how he loves this girl, she's leaving, he's like kind of begging her to stay, and then it just kind of abruptly ends. And so maybe there's something behind that for sure. There's a few cool things to point out here. I mean, first off, Jung has said that he gets a lot of his influence from like Tyler the Creator, Frank Ocean, just kind of very like dreamy soundscapes, and you can really hear that in that piano he uses. And then like the vocals especially. But the really cool thing is you'll notice in the middle there's like that piano switch up where his part kind of stops. They do like that like piano riff, and then the whole like instrumental changes, and even like his vocals change. Um, that comes at the halfway point of the song, like to the second, which is pretty cool. Obviously, like that's pretty easy to like manipulate for a song as simple as this, but it's still cool that he like had this thought of like this, as you could almost say like it's the two opposing perspectives of him begging her to stay, her wanting to leave, or um, you could say maybe he like has had a change of heart and like now he's realizing she needs to go. There's a lot of things you could look at behind it, but I like the vocals, I like the dreaminess of it. It's just such a peaceful song that I could just kick back and just listen to, and just vibe to it,
It definitely was a song. Like I heard music in it. Um,
Cool.
no, it was decent, nice little minute banger. I personally do not care for that type of music.
Yeah.
I definitely hear what you're saying, like the Tyler the Creator type.
Especially Tyler, because a lot of Tyler's like choruses are very, especially like on Igor. He has a lot of those dreamy kind of sequences because a lot of his music is about unrequited love and stuff, and so I think Jung captures that really well. But
Yeah, it's not my style. It's just a bit too like airy and stuff,
that's fair. I'd say like it's kind. No, I was gonna say it's kind of similar to R&B and like 2C, but 2C's got more like elaborate sounding kind of instrumentals typically. He's doing a lot more like production wise, I feel like. While with this, it's just a very simple piano and vocals,
Yeah, just too light and airy for
Yeah, that's fair.
my taste.
I can appreciate like uh complex production for sure. Like I love my fair share of those type of songs. But I also love my fair share of these simple songs where it's just like someone sitting down in a room and just telling a story with this. Yeah, it's a good song. It's number 5 for me, like I said, just because I wish it was longer. It's you listen to it and you just get like such a taste, and you're just like, I want more. And maybe it's again something to be said about that for like love and stuff, and a love that ends too soon. But moving on, I've got for my number 4 song, I've got "Loophole" by T Grizzley, and you already know 21 Savage. So
Savage.
let's give it a listen.
I find a loophole. Been trapping since a youngster. Fully automatic, we can't let no nigga punk us. Fuck about no bitch, I treat a model like a runner. Bitch free YSL, I know thugs, I know gunners. I was raised to get some money, flip that shit like 10 ways. In the trap, I'm money hungry, stack that shit for 90 days. Naked bitches in the room, they fucking like they getting paid.
All right, that was "Loophole" by T Grizzley and 21 Savage. Number 4 for me. I think the first thing that like caught my ear for this song was just that bass and just how heavy it comes in.
I love bass. I love bass.
Yes, a heavy bass is good, but I think also like this is a song about how like they found a loophole for killing someone, like, and it's someone from a rival gang, gang and stuff, and so it's a very like right like look for study the law so you know how to break it better. But like, so it's a very like intense song because they're talking about like pulling up on a block and stuff with a Glock and stuff. Oh, um, and so you feel the intensity of that with the instrumental. So I love when they capture that, where like the instrumentals come on and instantly like your heart's racing. You're just like, and I think T Grizzly's like chorus is really good at capturing that because it just keeps moving forward. Like I don't think there's a single pause in this song. Like the whole song just runs straight through for like.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's not super high up for me just because like I said, I'm a big 21 Savage fan. I don't think it's one of his like better verses for sure.
Not at all, no.
I just love the line where he says like, y'all eating noodles, we sit down and eat sashimi. I don't know why, but he always has a random line where I'm just like, it's a terrible bar, but I love it.
One is low end and he's eating high end.
Exactly. And then T Grizzly's doing T Grizzly stuff. I mean, I've never heard a T Grizzly song where I'm just like, this is the best rap song ever. But I've never heard a T Grizzly song where I'm just like, I hate T Grizzly. So I mean, like, he's always dropping some bangers. I don't know. I know you're not a big T Grizzly fan. Like, I know you're not a diehard, but what do you think?
It's mainly the bass for me. I have the bass turned all the way up in my car and on my Spotify and anything that I can turn bass up on. So when it starts, I'm just like, nice. I can feel it just in the middle of my chest.
This one would definitely be on like the subs playlist for songs to play on my subs. Like,
oh yeah, like
it
just starts and you're just like, like
I don't think it's
body just goes.
I don't think it's quite as good as Hills Have Eyes by The Weeknd, where it legit just starts with just starts with just enough to shake the whole car. But the
trees
bass is
fall
good.
over when you drive by them. Yeah.
I think the only thing that I really like, the best part of this song is the beat for sure. It's still a good song, though. I wouldn't, hate on it. But moving on, I like this one. This is a better rap song in my opinion. Number 3, I got 6 Pack by Wes Patrick.
Oof, you're gonna hate where I rank this.
Hop out, I'm the flyest motherfucker at the kickback. Not a competition, little boy with a wrist that. Meet me in the bathroom, I don't wanna chit chat. Cheating on a boyfriend, heard he got a 6-pack. I don't got a 6-pack, thought I should address that. That means I'm really the shit. I know they watching these motherfuckers wishing. And that little Japanese boy so ambitious. I got that range, I'm not talking statistics. You got a boyfriend, so you're paranoid.
All right, that was 6-Pack by Wes Patrick. Clearly the best part of this song is the chorus every time, like especially like to start the song to just be like a little kind of groove, and then out of nowhere just
comes out kicking.
Yeah, like
kickback.
It's
like,
it's such a song where you're like, this is probably their best song to perform live. Like you already know this would be like the Yonkers for like Tyler the Creator, where everyone's always like, bro, play Yonkers. He hates
dumbass song.
He hates it. But this is a song where everyone probably wants to hear it. It's probably the most hype to get to. And like just the hop out. I do like the transition. He starts off rapping a little bit, transitions into singing, and kind of transitions back and forth for the rest of the song. I think it's cool where it's like the chorus is kind of the rapping part every time, and then the verses are the singing part every time. You don't see that too often. I think
it's usually reversed.
Yeah, I think because they're not like a traditional rapper, like they have their own style kind of thing. The singing part kind of reminds me of like what you would hear probably from like a K-pop band or something. Like it's just that very like I don't know. Like I've heard a few K-pop songs, and it just kind of reminds me of that for some reason. I think it's the instrumentals. I think it's just kind of like the instrumentals. I think it's a group. Maybe it's a single person. Is Japanese. So I wonder if like just because it's like that Asian kind of culture, if they have very similar styles. I don't know what it is, but
that's you walking the
line. I'm great at walking that line. They're like the same, aren't they?
There we go. That's over the line. You fell off the line.
Nah, it is a really good song though. And yeah, I know you're not a big fan of this, which is funny because when I like first heard it, I was like, oh, he's gonna love the chorus, like because you always love just one lines in songs where you can just say it over and over again because you're autistic and so like it's your stim basically. And so I was like, bro, the second he hears hop out, I was like, he's gonna say this so much.
It has not left my head since we just listened to it. And that's really the only part I like. The whole chorus is pretty vibey, but then he starts singing, and I'm like, this sucks. Like,
you're not into the singing?
No. If it was the same 2.5 minutes of just the chorus, I'd like it better than with the singing and stuff.
Yeah, I like it just because it's a good switch up. It's not like just 2 minutes and 30 seconds of just him like rapping the whole time. It's like a cool breakup where like he kind of chills and sings, and then goes back into
the cover of it and the name.
The cover of a 6-pack.
It grossed me out.
Oh, well, he doesn't have one. So
I'm fat, so I don't.
That's good.
I am a certified hater. If anyone listens to every single episode, they probably think that I'm just the world's largest hater because you play your music, and I'm like,
You just know what you like, but it is funny because I'll be like, bro, like, isn't this a good song? And be like, it's okay. I mean, like, he mentioned like a coyote in the song, and I'm not a big fan of coyotes, so like that kind of took it out for me. I don't know what animal you hate. Then you're not an animal hater,
animals.
but it'd be something like that where you're just like, he mentioned the color purple. I'm not a big fan of purple, so like that kind of ruined this. Dude, okay, I can't.
Doesn't know me. I mean, this is
crazy. Your favorite color? I know why I picked an animal you love and a color you love. That's crazy. Okay, well, we got to move on now because I don't know what to do after that. Moving on to my number 10 song. I really like this one. You're gonna hate it.
Your number 10 song, huh?
My number 2 song. we're gonna drop down to number 10 already. My number 2 song. You're probably gonna hate this. It's "My Friend's Toyota" by Osiris. So let's give it a listen.
I think I remember liking this one.
Oh, thank goodness.
I can't believe September's already over. Looked for stars and I found a supernova. Praying to God that I can hold her close, 'cause I know she's worried about the snow. She said, darling, should I bring a coat? She's not ready for the air to get colder, 'cause she's so used to living on the beach down in Florida. Wanna take her to the mountains, we can take my friend's Toyota, but the heat don't work, so when the air gets colder, I can hold it up.
So is a song about him liking a woman?
Yeah, I have a type. All right, that was "My Friend's Toyota" by Osiris. Such a good fall song. Like,
yeah, it is.
Mainly because he just says it's after September, so it's in the fall time.
Mainly because he tells us that it is in the fall.
It's like Spider-Man being a Thanksgiving movie because they celebrate Thanksgiving in the movie.
Because they have the Macy's parade in it.
But no, it's just such a good song about just like this fresh love, and they're from two different areas. Like, he's from like the mountains and she's from like the beach down in Florida, he says.
It's like us.
But like he wants to like show her his world, and like, you know, the mountains and the trees, and like he's like, and when like the air gets cold, like, I know you're not used to this, I'll hold you. Like it's just such a beautiful song of like people with like these differences falling in love and stuff. It's also really funny because I found this song earlier this month, and then when we drove out to Michigan, my wife and I, we drove her car because like we're getting rid of it, giving it to her parents or whatever. And the heat doesn't work in this car. And so we're driving through the night too, all the way to Michigan, like 17-hour drive or whatever, through the night. It's like 2 a.m. I'm getting a frostbite because it's 20 degrees in the car. Heat's not working. And I was like, I've never related to a song more than this song right here. But it's just
sort of fire in the back.
Well, like that one video, that guy's like, "Oh man, you cold," and he just starts a fire like in like
in the console.
I didn't think you'd like the song, but you said that you remember liking it. What do you think?
I like it. It's a bit long.
It is a bit long.
I like it up until like the 2-minute mark, because then everything just repeats after that. Like, I like a repeating chorus. Obviously, I love choruses. That's usually my. I just think like the song.
So it's a 3-minute song. I think you need a bridge at the end there. You need some sort of bridge to go back into the chorus. Yeah, like,
because there's just he legit says the chorus like 3 times in a row at the end, and I'm like, okay, I like the chorus. I don't like the chorus when you just say it over and over again.
And I think that's why
it probably could have been like a minute,
yeah,
minute 15 shorter, and I would have liked it more. But
I think that's why I like Noah Khan so much, is his songs are like 3 minutes, but he always has a bridge in there that's a great like transition to an outro.
It's something new the whole time. It's not like
and it's funny because we're always like, this song's too short, I wish it was longer, and then we get like a long song, we're like, this song's way too long, and it's like
because of the way that they make
but it's because it's like it's so repetitive. So like with like, I like always
a 4-minute J. Cole song because he has
right, because
like
it's all different the whole way.
Yeah,
so it's a good song. It's number 2 for me, mainly because my number 1 song just took me
fire
by like every time I
hear
it.
I say that ever.
Yeah,
you don't hear me like tell you have a good.
The
song.
amount of times I've listened to that song So let's just not keep him in suspense anymore. Let's just move on to my number one song for November is Designer by Graham.
By Designer.
By Design. He's back.
Last time in the church was the Churchill Downs. Tatted verse, but the pen washed out. Praying that you get some new designer, but you don't pray to your designer. Got the Fear God shirt, but the fear not around. Too hurt, don't know how to heal now. Praying that you get what you desire, but you don't pray to no Messiah.
Yeah, so that was Designer by Graham, and I think we can both agree that this is a top 2 song. Like, this is...
We'll probably put it at number 10, but I do appreciate him.
What's even funnier is I know how big your TV is, so I know just me is covering the whole screen. Dude, it's such a good song.
It is
like,
a good song.
From start to finish,
sweet.
it's 2 minutes. I'm trying to think like if they added like something else, like what they could have added, but I don't know. It's another one where it feels like I want more of it, but it's like if there's more, would it ruin it?
It feels like you want more, but at the same time, like it's good. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't need anything more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It uses 808s for the drum line, but I think with the 808s and like just the story, like the song itself and the piano and stuff, it just sounds like a very 808s and Heartbreaks Kanye type song. Just that dark and just kind of like this person is just kind of lost kind of thing. I love the chorus where it's just like you pray for a designer, but don't pray to your designer. What's the other one? He says like you try to get what you desire, but don't pray to a Messiah. And he does a third one, which is like really good. But it's just kind of like just being lost and like always wanting like just like material greed and like all this stuff, but always it's never filling that hole. And it's like, yeah, like the last time you were at church was when you went to the Kentucky Derby to gamble. Like no matter what you're chasing, whether it's money, whether it's like designer clothes, whether it's anything you want, like it's not going to fill you because like there's the hole you feel is something greater than just like this. So yeah, I like that. And then on top of that, I mean, like I said, the instrumentals are good. He goes chorus right off the bat, which it's another song like the Six Pack one where it starts and you're instantly just like, oh my gosh, like whoa,
just draws you in immediately.
Piano's beautiful. It's haunting, very haunting. And then he goes into the singing, but the singing is really good. It's nothing too like different from what he's already doing. It doesn't stick out, it doesn't pull away from anything. It just adds to the song and to like the meat of the song. Like you said, it's very on beat too, which is really cool for singing to do. And then he goes into like a little like bridge build-up section, which really builds up that like chorus again. So when the chorus hits and it's coming, it still somehow hits harder than the first time. And then he goes into like that outro, which just keeps up like that high intensity of the song. You just can feel it building and stuff before he finally just finishes it with like one last kind of half chorus over just the piano, and you're just kind of left like you're just left there like I guess like it captures that feeling of having a hole and trying to fill it with all these things and it never satisfies because you get this build up and build up and build up and then you're just left with like a silent kind of ending and you're just like you kind of don't get that like climax that you would get from the build up where it's just this big moment. It's just like this big moment that like satisfies that build up, like it doesn't feel like he finishes like the I'm trying to think of what it's called, but typically like in music, like you have like the notes are supposed to go a certain way or whatever. He doesn't give you that last note. He just cuts it off and does the chorus and then it's over. And so you're just left like, oh, this sucks.
Mom, what do I?
But it's funny because when I was going through and like, okay, I got to listen to my 5 songs because this month we were like, we each put 5 songs on, so let's just pick our own 5 and put them head to head. I was like, first song, okay, added by me, a designer by Graham. I added this one to start the playlist. I don't really remember it, and I played it, and I was like, this was me. This was my song.
Started levitating in your room.
I was like, wow. What'd you think of this one?
No, I thought it was really good. Like you said, it just starts off and it just immediately gets my attention and sounds so good. And it wasn't in a song where I'd listen to the chorus. I'm like, nice, I like the chorus. Don't really care for the rest. Because after the chorus, the 808s pick up, and they're just like hitting nicely, and he's flowing really well. It gets to a point where he's hitting, like he's saying the words on
super
the beat.
on, yeah. It makes you feel
like
it even more.
It has that nice little bridge area, and then it just finishes off with a nice piano. The beginning of the chorus again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super repetitive. It's not way too long. It's like you said, it feels like you want more, but at the same time, you don't want another chorus just to be another chorus, just to extend it. You don't want another verse that's not going to fit as well. Like, I feel like what he did in those 2 minutes really just, it wrapped everything nicely. It did the 2 minutes justice. It did the whole song justice. Chorus is good. Verse is good.
And I wonder too if it's like speaking to that message of the song itself, where it's like, yeah, you want more, but if you get more, it's just gonna ruin like the reason it's special is because of how short it is. You know, like the reason like you love this, right? And so you love wanting more, but it's like if he gave you more, it wouldn't be as satisfying because either you're just gonna keep wanting more, or it's gonna take away from how special the start of it, like the original piece was. So
I bet what really happened is he just couldn't think of more.
That's probably exactly what it is. I don't think it's anything, but I think like even though it wasn't intentional, probably, I think it just does add to that where you're just like, oh, I do wonder. I mean, there are artists like J. Cole, like Kendrick, who are very intentional in their song creation, where they're like, cool, like it's gonna. Mac Miller was very good at this. Like it's going to build up like this, but then cut out because it's going to represent like how life cuts short sometimes, you know, stuff like that. And you're like, oh, okay, like I can see that. I don't know, like if Graham is that kind of artist where he's like super intentional on how he wants to do that, where he is like, I'm going to get this big build up, and then it's just going to like, you're not going to get that kind of final note that you're wanting to hear. So you're just going to be left uncomfortable as it just kind of fades out. I don't know if like that was intentional or if he just, it just came out that way, but whatever it was, it came out perfectly. So it's a good song.
Good song.
But yes, that is my 5 songs for the month of November. So if you like this and you want to find out where those 5 songs are going to rank on the top 10, well, you got to go watch part 2 first, silly. You got to find out what the other 5 songs are.
That's my 5 songs.
Keep an eye out for next episode, part 2, when Unstoppable drops his 5 in the chat, and when we talk about them. And then, as always, keep a lookout for part 3, where we go head to head and find out where Designer is going to be placed, because it seems like Unstoppable's got some songs up his sleeve, and he's kind of getting confident. So I'm excited to see what he's got. But until then, we will see you guys later.
Last time in the church was the Churchill Downs. Tatted verse, but the pen washed out. Praying that you get some new designer, but you don't pray to your designer. Got the Fear God shirt, but the fear not around.